Great pass from Diamantidis.
The lob is done! Here we go, 40 minutes to a title.
David Blue for three. On the mark, David Blue.
Now Spinellis drives inside, looks for the alley-oop! Corey Higgins just exploding.
EuroLeague Sweet16. It's the roster rundown.
Hello and welcome to the preseason special edition of EuroLeague Sweet 16. As always, I'm Moshe from Team Scout, and with me, my great friend and co-host, Aris Barkas from Eurohoops.net. And well, today, Emmett is not with us per se. He's not physically with us. He's actually, believe it or not, doing some gator swimming in the Serengeti. But taking his place for our very special Spanish celebration is none other than our great friend Roberto Arriaga from the Cadena Cope Spanish National Broadcasting Corporation. I hope I said it right. But first, before we begin, Aris, Roberto, how are you doing? How is this preseason?
Hello, Moshe. Hello, Roberto. We're happy to have you with us, and we're pretty sure that you have some bit of knowledge about the Spanish teams that will be more than needed and appreciated for this preseason special.
Hello to everybody. Aris, hello, pleased to meet you. Mose, how are you? Your Spanish is getting better. Well, thank you. First of all, I'm glad to be here with you, talking about this preseason, talking about the EuroLeague, and especially about Spanish teams. You know, there are 4 teams in the EuroLeague this year, just the same number as the last year, but we have a new team, first ever in the EuroLeague, Gran Canaria, who has built a very good team, but I think it won't be at the level of the top 8 teams from this year EuroLeague.
Well, Roberto, since you started with Gran Canaria, can you please tell us a bit about the summer that they've had, this off-season?
Well, first of all, it's very difficult to know where Gran Canaria can reach in this EuroLeague because it's the first time ever the Gran Canaria people reach at this level in basketball, in European basketball. So, as a curiosity, they have. I think this is a very strong handicap for them. They have the longest trips of all European EuroLeague teams. They have 110,000 kilometers to fly because they live in an island to play all EuroLeague matches. It's 40,000, yes. It's 40,000 kilometers more than the other team that they have the longest trips. So this is a very strong handicap for them because they have to combine that with the Spanish league, Spanish ACB. That is a hard league because everyone is able to beat you in a match, especially if you came from EuroLeague, from playing on Friday and going on Sunday to play to Murcia, for example. It's very complicated. It's very difficult for them. But for this year, they have changed the coach. It's Salva Maldonado, the new coach, the new Gran Canaria coach. And they have signed a mix of experienced player and a bet players. They sign DJ Strawberry, Strawberry from all around Europe. But they sign very interesting players like Chris Evans, like Kim Tilly. They have Eulis Baez, Luke Fisher, Luke Nelson. They are good players, but we don't know if they are good players in this EuroLeague. The requirements are very high, and we still don't know if Kim Tilly is going to recover after that knee injury. We don't know if Chris Evans is going to play as good as Salva Maldonado wants to keep in the match, in every match in EuroLeague. Well, they left 4 players: Pablo Aguilar, Silly, Brusino, and Gal Mekel. These players are out. They were main players for Gran Canaria last year, but they are leaving. So I think the strength of Gran Canaria it will be the team as they play together. I'm sure they're gonna pay the toll of the EuroLeague. They have to get used to the level. So I think they are gonna be dangerous in from the seventh, the eighth round of the competition. Later, that's the main thing for me. The point that they're not going to get into the top eight, but they are going to be a dangerous team, especially for those who go to Gran Canaria thinking they're going to win easy. I think they're going to be a strong team in their own court, and they're going to win some unexpected matches there. I'm sure about that.
If you had to pick one player to watch within the Gran Canaria roster, who would it be?
Well, Mose, it's difficult for me to choose one player from Gran Canaria because I have one weakness. It's Albert Oliver. He's a rookie in the EuroLeague, 40 years rookie. He's an tremendous point guard, but I will choose Marcus Eriksson. He's now injured, but I think he's the best player that Gran Canaria has this year.
Moving on from Gran Canaria to let's go with Madrid, the reigning EuroLeague champs. They did their thing, ended up losing during the summer the wonder kid. They lost Luka Doncic to the NBA, to the Dallas Mavericks. Now they brought Klemen Prepelic. Not a whole lot of additions, to be honest. Do you think it's going to be enough for them to try and defend the title this year? Besides that, what are we expecting from them in general? Because we do know that Yui is Yui, and he's proven it that that the injuries is a long thing in the past. So, your thoughts on it?
Okay, let's go with Real Madrid. Of course, they will miss such a player as Luka Doncic, but I think not as much as everybody thinks, because I think that Real Madrid has enough players to fill that blank, but I think the players will grow, will step up that miss, because I think the Luka Doncic needs a lot of balls, a lot of basketballs to shoot, to touch, to dribble. So I think Rudy Fernandez, Sergi Jule, etc. Will step up and help Pablo Lasso to grow, and I think is the best team. I think, it's my opinion, in the EuroLeague, because it has been a team a long time ago. The new signings, I think they are pretty well signing, because Klemen Prepelic is a tremendous shooter, has a Carroll, now they have Prepelic, and Gabriel Deck is an Argentinian four, has played extremely well in the Super Cup in Spain, the first official title against Baskonia in the final. He left Toko Sengelia almost without scoring. It's a pretty good team, Real Madrid. They will miss Luka Doncic, yes, but not as much as we thought.
What about the four position and the front court in general? Because there is Tompkins, there is Randolph, there is Deck, but there is depth. But
I don't think it will be a problem, because last year everybody thought Thompson was a problem for the Real Madrid, and then he finished the ACB league on the top, making a great end of the season. I think the season is very long, and Spanish teams have to face the two competitions, 3 with the Spanish Cup, but 2 competitions mainly, EuroLeague and ACB, and everybody has to be has to have in the roster a lot of players, a lot of not injured players, because the injuries will come, and Madrid is very have a very deep bench in the inside and the paint, with the 3 ones you told me, with Thomskin, Randolph and Deck, and of course Tavares, Ion and Felipe Reyes. The league, the EuroLeague, is so savage. The ACB is very close to the EuroLeague matches, so I think it will not be a problem.
Will Madrid have any weakness? We obviously know their system, the way they play, a lot of 3-point shooting. Everyone works for the guards, but still, besides Luka Doncic leaving and the question marks whether this roster has the right players to fill in the void created, do you see anything that potentially can maybe make Madrid not as strong as they were last year? I mean, are we expecting anything less of a Final Four?
Well, it's very difficult to know the weakness of Real Madrid. I think it has no weakness, but because they have a lot of offensive structures, with Tavares, a very tall man, or with 3 shooters, or with Sergi Llull with a fast break, and Paulo Lasso is very smart, putting in the match those structures. So it's very difficult for me to find the place where Real Madrid can be beaten. But I think maybe Baskonia has one option, taking out from the paint Tavares, and letting the 4, Toko Sengelia, get into the paint, get through the basket, and I think that would be an option for a team, but it's very difficult. I think Madrid is very offensive team. Is always playing in about 80 points, so maybe not letting them to score more than 72, 73 would hurt them. But it's very difficult for me, because I truly think that Real Madrid is again the main favorite team to win again now in Vitoria, the EuroLeague.
What does it mean for Baskonia to be the host of the Final Four in Vitoria, and how this affects everything and everyone around the team, in the team, the players, the press, the fans? What are the expectations?
For Vitoria city, with 250,000 people, is incredible. It's crazy to have an event like Final Four. You know that last season's Final Fours always were celebrated in big cities. Jose Querejeta, the president of Baskonia, fight for the Final Four since 2001, and finally he carry the Final Four to Vitoria. So everybody here in Vitoria, in Álava, in Basque Country, is very happy with that. The team, unfortunately, Baskonia has not the money and the Final Four needed, or the team needed for reaching the Final Four, because I think Baskonia will need some more main players, to get in the Final Four. But they bet on carry with a team, with a last season team. Only 3 signings: Savon Seals, Darren Hilliard, and Ade Penava. They continue with the same coach, Pedro Martinez, and well, they play very well basketball. If they can do it throughout the season, I think they will stay in the top 8. That's the main objective, the main goal for them. And then, well, it's very difficult if you are not one of the 4 first in the EuroLeague. So the expectations are high because everybody wants to have Baskonia in the Final Four in Vitoria, but I think it will be very difficult if Baskonia will not stay in the 4-5 place at the end of the regular season. I think that would be the chance for them, but the EuroLeague is very difficult.
Also, Roberto, I want to ask you about the preseason. Obviously, the most important stage of the season. Every team, every coach teaches the plays. They're going from A to Z about pretty much everything. And this year, due to the windows, a lot of teams were affected badly by it. How do you see what Baskonia went through, missing pretty much all of their players? How will it affect their season, if at all? The fact that they got all of their players very late during the preseason stage.
I think Baskonia is a totally different team from the preseason, last year preseason, because Paolo Prigioni doesn't have the whole roster at the end of the preseason, and this cost so much for him as a rookie, for the team to get together, and this year is very different because it's the same coach, Pedro Martinez. He had all the players during the whole season except for the FIBA window, for the whole preseason, I mean, and they are playing very, very well together, because they know each other from last year. Of course, they will miss some players because I think Rodrigue Beaubois, who has gone to Efes, it was incredible player. On the transition and offense, it was, I think, the best in Europe. Hilliard, it come from. He come from the NBA. He has to know the way we play in FIBA, and then that cost time. So this way on the shooting guard, I think we have Baskonia is missing. Is missing a lot of. Rodrigue Beaubois, but the other man that went to Olympiacos, Giannis Tima, the signing this year is Savon Seals, Danish man who came from Italy. Oh, it's a good player, very good player, athletic. He shoots from 3. He penetrates to the basket. It's a good man. It's a good signing. I think Tima last year didn't do the season we expected, and I think in the three, I think Baskonia is good at this change. Okay, now Garino, the Argentinian 3, is also not injured. Last year
he was injured. So he will do more for the team, especially in offense, than last year. So this is a point plus to Baskonia. Inside players, paint players, they are the same than last year. So, well, that would be equal. And on guards, well, I think last year Jason Granger was injured half season, and it could be very well as a new signing for Baskonia, because last year didn't reach to the expectations. So, well, I think Baskonia is at the same level than last year, at least, but it has 1 point plus than last year. They know each other. Pedro Martinez is a great coach, and they will act, they will play as a team, and as a team is their force, the team, not the players, the team. Okay, in the last moments of the match, in the last moment of the games, you need that player. You need the player that put the ball inside the basket. But Baskonia does not have it. Maybe Torniques Engelia, but in the end, he is not taking this responsibility. Maybe the team passing the ball, and that's the trademark of Pedro Martinez, the passing the ball. This is the way Baskonia has bet for the Final Four. Team passing the ball, renew a lot of players, and letting them to Coach Martinez to reach the Final Four.
And as our Spanish Fiesta is about to come to an end, Aris, I have one question for you. Barcelona, a lot of talks during the offseason, a lot of movements, I would say, in the market. Some were more impressing than others. But what do you make of Barcelona's offseason so far and their preseason? You think that they are ready to, is it time for them to actually make up for not making it to the playoffs uh, in the last campaign? Are they good enough now to make the playoffs and more, or are there just too many question marks that needs to be answered first?
Mose, Barcelona is turning out to be a riddle once again. In theory, they will be better than last season, and Chris Singleton is one of my favorite EuroLeague players. His addition was a great move, no question about it. But on the other hand, so far we have not seen any big difference from last season's Barcelona to this season's Barcelona. So I think that only time and the court will tell. It was a bumpy summer. We had the Navarro saga, who is honored by the club and will be staying near the team. But on the other hand, it's almost a common secret that he wasn't ready to say goodbye. He did this in order to accommodate the team. This already created some friction between the fan base and the club, and that can be crucial if bad results happen during the first few weeks of the regular season. And we don't know yet when Adam Hanga will be ready to go. So there are many issues that Barcelona has to solve. Serafan is also coming from an injury. We have to see them on the court. If I have to bet on a team that didn't make the playoffs last season and will make them this season around, I'm not so sure that I will put my money on Barcelona, because there are very few teams this year that are really not Final Four. They are really not Final Four contenders. They are really not playoffs contenders. So Barcelona will have also a level of competition that I think will be more than high. And with that, I think we are done. It was a pleasure. I think we are all starting to feel devotion. And Moshe, take it home since Emmett is not here.
So, first episode filled with devotion comes to an end. So it's time to say the goodbyes. Aris, Roberto, guys, where can they find you?
As always, you can find me on Eurohoops.net, on the social media of our portal, and also on my personal social media on Facebook and Twitter.
In my case, you can find me broadcasting in www.cope.es, and there look for my city, Vitoria, and I'm broadcasting there. And of course, in my social accounts in Twitter, in Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you.
Roberto, thank you for being with us on this one, on EuroLeague Sweet 16 special preseason edition. So yeah, from our headquarters in Spain, Greece, and of course Tel Aviv, Israel, we thank you for joining us to our first preseason episode, like ever. Make sure you follow us and subscribe in the iTunes, and also in our SoundCloud account. Now you can find me as always at I'm Team Scout and Moses B1 on Twitter, the Facebook page Team Scout, the website teamscout.net, and on Instagram you can always follow me and Moses B1 as well. So just make sure you do. And Emmett, man, I hope you had fun wherever you are, and I really hope so that you will remember to take us next time with you to Metallica concerts throughout. So yeah, we kind of followed you. So till next time, which will be 48 hours from now.